Hello, this is Sharon from Statistical Programming.com. In this lecture, we're going to look at how to eliminate duplicates using data step. We're going to identify duplicates with first and last variable in a data step. Using first last variable to identify observations as the first, last, or neither the first nor the last time that a value occurs. First, last variable are created by SAS when the dataset is set by one or more variables. First and last can have only two values, 0 or 1, and the data set must be sorted with proc sort by the by variable first. Okay. First, let's look at the dataset. Here, I'm using a data step program to create internal SAS datasets. The two variables included in this dataset is ID variable and also the count variable. The count variable provides the count for each ID value. Okay. After the data line, here is our dataset. We can tell from this dataset 101 and 102 and 103, their counts are 1. So those are the three observations with unique ID value. And for 104, ID equals 104, there are two records associated with this ID. And for ID 105, there are three records associated with this ID. Okay. And then after that, I want to use this proc sort procedure to sort the dataset D1 by ID variable. All right. Let's run those two programs and have the data ready. This is the D1 dataset. It has two variables and it has total 8 observations. And from the log, we know it's been sorted by this ID variable. And then let's look at the next data step program. In this data step program, I set D1 and then create a new data set called D2. And here set D1 by ID, by this ID variable. And also I created two new variables by using assignment statements. First underscore ID variable equals first.id. Last underscore ID variable equals last.id. So those two new variables, first underscore ID and last underscore ID, will contain the values from first.id variable as well as last.id variable, which is generated by SAS. Okay. And also those two variables, first underscore ID and last underscore ID, will have values as 0 or 1. All right. And then I'm using the proc print procedure to print this newly generated data set so we can look at the information on one page. All right, let's run those two programs and see what we got. This is the output from print procedure. We have ID and the count variable, and as well as first underscore ID and last underscore ID. We can see for 101, 102, and 103, those three observations, first ID and last ID, both of them equals 1. Okay. And for 104, we can see first ID equals 1 and last ID equals 0. And for the second record, first ID equals 0 and last ID equals 1. Okay. And then let's look at 105. It has 3 records. For the first record, first ID equals 1 and last ID equals 0. And for second one, first ID and last ID both equals 0. And for last one, first ID equals 0 and last ID equals 1. So from this table, we can tell if the ID is unique, then first ID and last ID both equals to 1. And if this ID has duplicates, then first ID and last ID cannot be both equals to 1. Okay? So here I write a note to make it more clear. Use the values of first ID and last ID to identify duplicates. Any observation where both first ID and last ID do not equal to 1 means it's not the first and last time that the value occurs. That means they are duplicates. Okay? Next, we're going to use the values of first ID and last ID to output duplicates to a SAS data set. And also, we want to output the unique ID to a SAS data set in this following data step program as well. So this data step, we're going to create two data set, unique underscore ID, which contains the unique ID observation, and the dupes contains the duplicates. Okay, so this data set will create it by set D2 by ID. And then this if-then statement is used to output dupes data set. If not, first ID equals 1 and last ID equals 1, then output dupes. So this means if not both variable equals to 1, then the observation will be output to the data set dupes. And else output unique underscore ID. So else, for the rest of the observation, it will be put to this data set, unique underscore ID. Okay, let's run this data step and see what we got. This is the unique ID data set, and we can see the observations with unique ID are included in this data set. Okay. And then let's go to the library, and then let's go to dupes. This is the data set. This is the data set containing the duplicates. So we can see all the IDs with duplicates are included in this data set. Okay. This is it for this tutorial. This tutorial, we talk about how to eliminate duplicates using data step. All right, thank you for watching. See you next time.